Have you ever seen anything like this in this area?
Not out here.
I mean, I've had people in the past couple of minutes reach out to me saying they need help. A lot of people in the Richmond area, which is unfortunately very far away from where we are right now. You could see how slow we have to move. All right, well, guys, again, we appreciate them, you know, doing what they're doing. Some really incredible people. I know we probably overuse the word hero, but I don't think this is one of those times. These people are really, truly heroes, going, you know, putting themselves in danger to go and help all of those other people. Karina, I mean, you could see it out here. It's still pouring, still windy. The conditions are not letting up, and we don't expect them to for a while, but in the meantime we are going to try to save as many people who are stuck in their homes right now or stuck wherever they may be, and hopefully bring them to safety. Victor, a very, very emotional situation just played out here. That airboat that we told you left just came back with one of the people who was out there trying to rescue some of the people who were stuck, and this man just walked off the boat very shaken up, of course, very you know, very slow walking. He seems like he was in a lot of pain. From what I'm hearing people talking about, it seems like they were in a pontoon, the pontoon tipped, and they were hanging on to a bridge, and the water, and they're kind of stuck in a tree, and the water just kept rising and rising, and luckily this man was able to be saved again by more civilians who are just out here trying to do anything that anybody can right now. I'm getting kind of choked up talking about it. It was hard. It's been hard to see. It's we hope that the two other people who are stuck out there have the same fate as this man has had. But I was talking to some of the people who were out in this weather, and the one thing that they really tried to convey was how this water, you can't tell from pictures on Facebook, you can't tell even from the video that we're showing you the current that's under it, and why it's so dangerous to do what all these people are trying to do to help others, and while it's very heroic, it can be very dangerous, and something that officials, you know, have made very clear, and we want to make clear, is that these are very unsafe situations, and do not put yourself in a situation trying to help somebody else if you're not absolutely 100% sure that you can, because you know, the worst case scenario is for nobody to, you know, to come out of this situation. So we want to make it better, not worse. The airboat, after it brought this man back, again went back out there. And something else, there was a fire chief, an emergency official out here a few minutes ago, and we're talking about airlifting, and he mentioned that the visibility is just too bad out here right now. It's too poor to have helicopters flying around. Very gray, you know, it's very hard to see too far away. So Victor, some good news there. This man was able to be saved. I mean, he's spending time hugging his family right now. We want to respect him and keep our distance. We are very, you know, of course, so happy that he was able to make it, and we hope the same is, you know, we hope it's the same for those two people who he went out there with.
The first night I was shaking like a leaf. I was scared. And outside of that, I did okay.
You are doing great.
So far from what I've been told, yes.
You are doing great. Can I hug you?
Sure, no problem.
I'm so happy to see that people here like you have such a good spirit. Diane, I am so happy we got a chance to talk to you. I'm so happy to see that you're doing well. Thank you so much. And Ed, people have been talking about the spirit of Houston, and I don't think there's a better way to say it than what you just heard Diane here say.
Wow, Steph, that was something. You doing okay? I know that it's emotional for obviously for the people who are going through this, but for the reporters out there covering it too.
I mean, it's been hard. We've seen a lot. We've been through a lot, but you hear and see people like Diane, and it makes it all worth it.
All right, Stef Manisero at the George Brown Convention Center in Houston.
Good morning, Todd. Yeah, since we last spoke, police actually removed the caution tape and opened up the street here on 21st Street. And throughout the morning, crews have been here cleaning up the street. And of course, this is the food truck where many of the witnesses we spoke with yesterday actually say they saw the stabbing took place. But again, 21st Street and the Speedway area area back open now. And 2 of the 3 surviving victims who were stabbed actually were released from the hospital late last night. That's according to a statement issued by UT President Greg Fenves late last night. Now, going forward, police are going to try to work out and figure out the motive behind this stabbing spree. Right now, last we spoke with them, and they did not know if there was any relation, if the 4 victims knew each other at all, but they do tell us that there are 25 witnesses, most of those being students, and they do plan to talk with and question all 25 plus of those people going forward as this investigation continues on. And this morning we can identify the student who was killed in yesterday's attack. He was Harrison Brown. He was a freshman here. Listen in. I do, Todd. You know what? Every child needs a superhero, and actually across our entire Central Texas region, there's about 2,500 kids who do have their superhero, their volunteer who speaks on their behalf. That's from Georgetown all the way down to New Braunfels, but so many more, hundreds more, who still need that volunteer. And Callie is with us now, aka Phoenix.
Yes.
Talk to everybody about why we are dressed up this morning.
We are dressed up because the Casa Superhero Run 5K and Kids 1K is happening this Sunday.
And then you sign here, and I'll be a witness if you want. Do you do something special every year for your birthday?
Not really, no.
Al Blaschke is a simple man.
My body's in good shape, actually.
Good for you.
He likes playing cards and hitting the links.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm ready to go.
But even Al knows, turning 100 years old.
That's worth celebrating.
So on a cold winter day, Al bundled up.
He's ready.
Yep.
And flew up.
Away we go!
To take a leap.
Somebody's out.
Into his next century. But as he fell from 10,000 feet,
You're looking, but you're not thinking. You're just floating in there and taking in everything you can.
Woo! Al, what did you think of that?
Oh, wow. Wonderful.
Al couldn't help but see what wasn't there.
We both loved dancing, both loved hiking, anything with nature. We're 2 of a kind.
For 61 years, he and his wife Ellie did everything hand in hand.
That's the way we operate. When we want to do something, we both do.
If she were still here, he knows she would have been flying by his side.
Yeah, I'll tell you that right without hesitation. She would have.
Good job. Great job, Al.
So call him crazy.
Father always crazy, or when did this set in?
Definitely got more crazy as he got older.
Yeah, this would be the craziest thing. But I mean, it's the nicest thing. It's also a nicest thing.
Wow. I'm glad he has it on his bucket list, and I'm glad he made it through. Yay!
But on a day spent surrounded by family and friends,
Happy birthday, dear Al.
This is one way to get a lot of people to sing happy birthday to you.
Day to you.
Al looks back on his 100 years
I just had a beautiful life, and this is part of it.
and makes his birthday wish.
I just wish everybody could have an enjoyable life as I've had.
Happy birthday, Dad.
Yeah, what can I do for you?
When we first came to America, I remember seeing lots of restaurants
Medium vanilla latte.
and thinking, how do those folks become owners of restaurants?
Those were Ina Gitterman's thoughts when she moved here from Ukraine nearly 30 years ago.
My husband's mother had great recipes.
So she hit the road.
It was just a traveling thing that we like to do because I like to cook.
The next step took some convincing,
Are our crepes that great?
but the final leap
So December 3rd, 2015, we opened up here.
came with a push from her customers.
They kept coming back. They didn't see us as different.
But Ina felt different.
I was born deaf. And I have a deaf family, deaf children as well. And I have to be honest, our several attempts, it was a fail because it was hard working with people in the hearing world, you know.
Ina spent a long time watching people who can hear get jobs
And they stay in that job for a long time.
while searching for her own recipe.
For deaf people, that same story is a hard fit.
Across town, The story was the same for Nick Buchanan and Mario Essig.
You just want to get your coffee and go.
They decided to give selling coffee a shot. But before this, Nick spent years trying to break through in his tech sales career.
You know, you go through school, and at the end, it's still, even though you've got that degree, it's hard to find work. And
Mario says while working for the U.S. Department of Agriculture,
I was a database manager.
He just couldn't get ahead.
You know, there's a movie called Office Space. You know, I feel like that guy in the stapler in the basement. That's who I feel like.
It's a huge challenge in our community. A lot of deaf people have jobs, but they're underemployed.
Brandy Raris works at Communication Service for the Deaf. She says employment is by far the community's biggest issue. Nearly half the deaf population is unemployed, and 70% is either unemployed or underemployed, meaning they don't have enough paid work or aren't doing work that fits their skill level.
So the numbers they're big.
Raris says companies often shy away from hiring deaf people.
How you doing?
Because of communication concerns.
The 2:30 for you.
Often employers don't know where to go to get the resources they need to hire deaf people.
And the negative stigma.
Disability, the word itself is not positive.
That's why for Ina, Nick, and Mario,
We also say up here, it says, point and ye shall receive.
The solution was simple. Create your own company.
Sometimes people come up and they say hi.
And I'll say, wait, deaf.
And they check the box, they read the menu.
And there's a little bit of a self-expression. You can see that they're like, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean it. And we're like, that's fine, that's what we're here for, that's what the menu's here for.
Recognizing that not everyone can do what they did.
There's a lot of, disabled people that are struggling with getting jobs, and we've experienced that.
These employers decided to lend a hand to the discouraged employees they once were.
I preferred to hire deaf employees because of communication reasons.
So far, they've only hired deaf people, about 30 positions between the two businesses.
A change of mindset, a change of heart.
And a change in attitude.
Do we want to build a world where everyone's the same?
The large copies for you?
Or do we want a world of diversity, where diversity is embraced and supported?
I wanted something unique, something rare.
That's what Nick, Mario, and Ina now serve up.
Hearing people are realizing that deaf people are just as equal, and we are having an influence. That's where I feel moved, that we're seeing each other as equals now.